psychics, consulting tarot, any sort of reading. This completely, utterly, entirely gives away your creative power and only reconfirms the idea that you are not the source, that the source is something outside of you. So it gives this implication that the universe is outside of you and you are looking for answers of whether or not the universe is going to manifest your desire, grant your desires, if it's a magic genie. Maybe I'm using an exaggerated example, but I'm trying to get the point across that consulting something outside of yourself to try to get an answer where your energy is at, or what is going to happen, or what is in your future, that only implies that all of that ability to create, to manifest, is outside of myself. And I need some sort of outside source, crutch, whatever you want to call it, to reinforce that I can do this, to reinforce that this is going to happen. It's as if you are implying that you do not have the faith needed, because when you believe in something absolutely and you know it as inevitable, do you ever consult a psychic? Do you ever consult tarot? Do you ever look to any sort of reading? No, you wouldn't. You absolutely wouldn't. You wouldn't go to an energy reader because you would know it was going to happen. All of the answers that you are seeking from a so-called psychic, tarot reader, it's all within. The ironic part is whatever reading you get, if you go to a tarot reader, you manifested the reading. You manifested it all. All of it is a reflection of you. So why on earth would you want to strengthen this idea of there being separation? Instead, you want to strengthen the idea of there being no separation. And this is why, in my opinion, you want to wholeheartedly avoid any sort of tarot reading, psychic, astrology, looking at the stars for guidance, anything like this. Now, I am sure I will get plenty of comments that disagree with this. And yes, in essence, I am manifesting that as well. I just know because I've made previous videos on this topic. And I always get someone that tries to present a legitimate argument for trying to tap into this idea of measuring where you are at. And while this is all well-meaning and they're trying, like they have the right understanding, you're still missing the point that it's all within. We want to strengthen this idea of there being no separation. I know in my own upbringing, it was instilled within me because we were traditional Christians, non-denominational. We went to a Bible church. And my mother was raised Catholic, my father was raised Lutheran. There was this idea that God was an entity outside of myself, that I prayed to him to grant me certain things. And even when I learned about the law of attraction, it was very, very difficult for me because I had had so many years of this belief system that I prayed to something outside of me to affect my life for the better. That something outside of me was making the decisions for me and had the power to either grant me the things I wanted or refuse them. And if you had any sort of religious upbringing, and I'm guessing most of you have, whatever your religion may be, I feel like all traditional religions lean upon this idea that there is something outside of you that you are either worshiping or praying to. Now, mind you, I don't know much about religions outside of Christianity, so I'm only guessing. But from what I know that most religions fall into this idea that you are asking something outside of you for assistance. And while I do believe in the power of good, hence God, I do believe that it is an extension of me, not something outside of me. And this was so difficult to break myself of. In fact, it's something I still sort of struggle with because I want to fall back on this idea of it being outside of myself. And I feel like psychics, tarot readings, astrology, predictions, anything that speaks of a pre-written future, a predestined future, reinforces this idea of an entity outside of you, and that is the entity that grants you the manifestation. I even see people in comments referring to the universe, almost like it's a different word for God in the sky. Now, you can think of God in whatever context you want, and that's going to be right for you. But I want you to try to get in touch with this idea of it being you being it, one and the same. There being no separation at all. And this will allow you to manifest anything, because if you can realize that you are the only source, the only thing there is, then why would you consult tarot? Why would you consult anything outside of you? And also, I get emails from people who are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on these psychic readings. I'm also getting people in comments saying things like, I got a psychic reading saying he will never be with me. Can I change that outcome? As if the psychic reading was their outcome, was their pre-written destiny, as if that was the only option available to them. Every option is available to you. You are your own psychic. You are your own tarot reader. You don't need that. I mean, I enjoy tarot cards just because I think they're pretty, but I would never do a reading. I would never do that. Have I done that before in the past? Yes. In fact, yes, I consulted psychics, I consulted tarot readings, and that was at a time in my life where I was manifesting nothing good because I was so tapped into this idea that the source of good, the source of God, was outside of me, and I needed someone to act as a medium to give me that information, to give me the okay to have faith, to kind of booster this idea that it could be possible. And whatever I was asking for at that time never happened. It never happened. They were all fails. And they were all fails because I was not seeing that all of the source, all the creativity, everything was within me. It was within me, not within this reflection of me, which would be the tarot reader. Because basically everyone in your world, every experience is just a reflection of you. So if everything is you pushed out, then why would you search to the pushed out part for the answers of what can come, what can be pushed out later? Like, that makes no sense. It's almost like you're looking at a mirror reflection and you're asking the reflection for your prediction of what can be. It's illogical. Subscribe to become a manifesting master. Check out my website for all these amazing programs that I know will change your life for the better. Have you enrolled in my free 10-day Manifesting Miracles course? If not, the link to it is below.